Nature and humans are attracted to symmetry from survival and from the need to hunt for certain things, and so it's not surprising that many of the companies built by humans have symmetry in their logos. Here's an example. You can search for many more. Which of those have symmetry, which don't? For those that do, can you identify what types of symmetry? And in this activity you're going to try and rebuild some logos from a small fragment. If you're using Internet Explorer, sometimes iPad and iPhone, it might be easier too. There's a direct link here which takes you to exactly the same thing, applet, but just on a separate web page. Internet Explorer users, you won't see this applet below. Firefox, Chrome, others, etc., you can use the applet. So I need to rebuild that Coco Chanel logo. So I'm going to type in, I think maybe y equals 3 here might be helpful. I'm going to use lowercase y, otherwise it won't recognise it as a line. And then I'm going to reflect it. So I'm going to choose reflect the object about a line. So I want to reflect this object here about this line. And oh, that's pretty good. Great. So if I'd got it wrong, I'd have to maybe change that. I could move it around until it did work. Okay, and then it's up to you to see if you can work out the rest and rebuild that perfectly. Then you've got the other applets below to do. Once you've finished everything, you might be ready for the extension. And the extension is going to ask you, first of all, to try and rebuild this in as many different ways as possible using reflection. Your teacher might also say using rotation. If you do use rotation, just a little tip. Obviously if you've got on the extension you can work it out, most of it, or ask your teacher, but to rotate you want to use a slider, and you can put this in on the applet to number, not angle, and so you're going to have to change that to 0 and that to 360 and the increment to 1. Don't use angle because it adds degrees onto it, and so it hardly turns at all. Use number. And so once you've finished all of that, what about making your own image? So find your own logo that you like, take a little fragment of it, use these 2 videos below with this free photo editing software to edit it, make it transparent, put it into a GeoGebra file, and your partner's going to have to rebuild it. The videos at the bottom of the page there, watch them in your own time. A couple of other questions there to have a think about, and why not make up your own, if you finished all of that, logo from scratch using Symmetry. Here's an example of one a student made, just using one shape and lots of reflections and other things. Really lovely. And then there's also, to help you out if you need it, a worksheet right at the top here where you can do all of this on paper. If that helps you think about the equations of lines, it could well do. Best of luck.